Hello, good evening and welcome to Business Live. In our headlines this evening, 43-year-old farmer Nana Yao Sapon Srebo adjudged 2022 National Best Farmer as President Akufo-Addo assures of more investment in agri sector.
In several other countries, Ghana is better prepared and has demonstrated resilience to the current adversities threatening to destabilize our food system.
The market is not, it's not functioning at all, and things are messing up. Our customers are not coming. Things are expensive.
And cost of foodstuffs and low patronage of goods dampen expectations of the public ahead of the festive season this month, as they describe living conditions as very challenging.
The market is not, it's not functioning at all, and things are messing up. Our customers are not coming. Things are expensive, so when they come, they can't even buy. They have to leave it and then go. So we are just managing it.
And government's projected revenue from corporate taxes for next year could suffer due to proposed increased VAT for 2023.
Sometimes we do say that do not allow crisis to just pass without you doing certain things with that crisis. Our recommendation regarding this VAT, as we currently speak, is not for government to withdraw based on the fact that people are making a call that the 2.5 is high, but rather we are saying that government review the VAT scheme.
Hello again. We begin with the Farmers' Day celebration as a 43-year-old farmer, Nana Yao Sapon Srebo, has been adjudged the 2022 National Best Farmer at the ceremony in Koforidua, the Eastern Regional Capital. Mr. Srebo received a cash prize of 1 million cedis and 2 nights full board complimentary stay for 2 at the Pejiase Valley Resorts. Mr. Srebo hails from Asante Drabing and has 22 years of experience in farming. He has several farms dotted across the Ashanti region, providing employment opportunities to several families in the area he operates. Mr. Srebo is married with 4 children and has over 900 acres of oil palm plantation, 65 acres of cocoa plantation, 36 acres of cowpea, 37 acres of cassava plantation, and several cattle, sheep, and goats. President Akufo-Addo, meanwhile, has assured that his government will continue to invest in other agriculture products apart from cocoa to diversify the country's export earnings. According to him, the move will afford the country an opportunity to create more jobs under the Planting for Food and Jobs program.
The overall National Best Farmer.
It is a call to action by all countries to prioritize agriculture and recommit to the transformation of food systems to build resilience and ensure sustainable food security. In this respect, I find the theme for this year's Farmers' Day celebration, accelerating agricultural development through value addition, most appropriate and timely. Value addition as a means of accelerating the development of agriculture is one of the logical strategies for ensuring food security, and rightly so. I say this because of the perennial problem of post-harvest losses experienced in most countries, including Ghana. Since 2017, strategic interventions in the agriculture sector have emphasized value addition through the implementation of the One District, One Factory flagship program by government. It is instructive to note that 172 of the 296 factories to be established under the program are agro-based, processing the rapidly increasing farm output of our farmers. Clearly, it is evident that Ghana has been put firmly on the track of value addition. Agriculture will continue to remain the top priority of my government. The massive investments made in the sector attest to this fact. The positive narrative about Ghana's support to the agriculture sector is that, unlike in several other countries, Ghana is better prepared and has demonstrated resilience to the current adversities threatening to destabilize our food systems. This has been possible because of the sound, pragmatic policies and programs rolled out at the inception of my stewardship.
Still on the Farmers Day, Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Efriakoto, is optimistic that government's plans for the agri sector will be materialized.
In keeping with our strategy of regular annual engagement with farmers and other stakeholders, we have already embarked on a field visit to 10 regions this year in the southern and middle belts of the country. The last leg of our annual visit takes us to the northern belt of the country right after today's event. These visits provide me and the ministry direct information to fully assess the performance on the ground and the priorities for policy direction. From our field visits so far, my assessment is that ongoing harvest will be good this year, and our food security situation remains strong. The farmers and fishers who we celebrate today have built this security by responding very favorably to the incentives provided by government under the flagship Planting for Food and Jobs. In the 5 years 2017-2021, the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has provided nearly 2.5 billion Ghana cedis in subsidies on improved seeds and fertilizers alone. In the food crop sector, farmers were able to apply these two inputs to produce additional foodstuffs in that period, that is 2017-2021, worth some 48 billion Ghana cedis at the farm gate. 48 billion Ghana cedis at the farm gate after inputting $2.5 billion Ghana cedis in the program. This is how capable our farmers have demonstrated their contribution to food security effort of this government. In addition, farmers all over the country have trooped to the offices of the district chief executives to collect and plant free of charge over 28 million seedlings of 6 selected tree crops under the Planting for Food and Export and Rural Development PAED program. This program is the policy by which this government seeking to diversify the tree crop subsector to add to the dominant traditional cocoa subsector. These are but two major examples of the strategic role of our farmers in partnering government in our transformational agenda for the people of Ghana. We therefore have great cause to celebrate our farmers and wish them a happy Farmers' Day. Thank you.
Away from that, as the countdown to the Christmas festivities begin, the exorbitant cost of foodstuffs and other items on the market is threatening to dampen the celebration, with many complaining about the high prices of goods and traders crying of low patronage. I visited the Makola market and filed this report.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree.
A clear picture of how empty the streets of Ghana's biggest shopping center, Makola Market in Accra, looks like, with barely 4 weeks to Christmas. The air does not carry the waves of excitement and the buzz that usually heralds the holiday season. At the Makola Market, business activities are yet to pick up.
The nature of how the market is moving is now nothing to write home about. Due to the rise in the dollar rate, shoes which used to sell for 50 cedis last year now sales at 100 cedis, 120 cedis, and 180 cedis. Market over here begins early September, but this year, market has been slow since September through to November. So when is the market expected to back?
If you take a look at Ghana's economy now and the way the dollar rate keeps rising, activities in the market are slow. Market is not booming as compared to the previous year, but we are hopeful things will get better this December.
The way we are expecting, we are not seeing it that way. And you should know, we were expecting something big this Christmas. As November started, this market has been moving the way we always see it. But this year, the way things have even started, we are not enjoying it at all. The market is not, it's not functioning at all. And things are, expensive. So when they come, they can't even buy. They have to leave it and then go. So we are just managing it.
I started by the Toshi. I'm on Toshi. Will chrome. Yeah, buy it to what say
How things used to be initially is different as compared to how things are presently. Prices of goods are not consistent anymore. It keeps escalating day in and day out. Initially, 6 yards of a piece of cloth sold for 30 cedis. It now sells for 75 cedis, which makes it difficult for traders to purchase and sell. Imagine getting the piece of cloth at this price. How much will you sell it for?
First, 30 cedis. Since you are seeing us, I say the man is 75. 75. Now who better on?
At a close to 10 minutes walk, we breathe a sigh of relief when displaying some Christmas souvenirs one will expect to find in the market as the season approaches. Auntie Dinah has sold these items for the past 20 years.
The price of the dollar keeps going up, and that is affecting the business. People come and ask for prices of items, and they end up not buying anything because they cannot afford to buy them. Previously, a Christmas tree was selling at 30 cedis or 40 cedis, and it is now going for 85 cedis to 90 cedis.
These traders are, however, hopeful the situation may improve in the coming weeks. But what are buyers also saying?
This time, there's nothing like Christmas shopping because after Christmas, is school fees. You know, now it's the education system is sport, so nothing. We can't touch it. We can't buy anything for the kids. There's nothing like Christmas shopping. As you can see, there are not much people on the road. Usually, in fact, before you even get a place to put your feet or something, but then you work freely, like nobody's business. All the ghost people who used to come during Christmas, and I say,
it's a season of joy and celebration, but from what we have witnessed in the market, there's nothing joyful about it. The next few days could give a brighter picture of what Christmas this year would look like. Beverly Broohm for Joy Business. Now, government's projected revenue from corporate taxes for next year could suffer because of the proposed VAT increase for 2023. That's a warning coming from tax partner at PwC Ghana, Beku Jan Kwanzaa. Now, this follows government's decision to hike the VAT rate by 2.5% from next year. But speaking on PM Express Business Edition, Mr. Jan Kwanzaa noted that government's revenue targets for next year could be affected badly if the VAT structure is not handled well.
So the first measure that we all had was that VAT was going to go up from the standard VAT rate of 12.5 to 15%. And I use the word standard.
And try and let's move away from the accounting jargon.
All right.
And break it down for us.
Yes. So government says, I'm going to move from the standard VAT rate from 12.5 to 15. The word standard means that this is what we usually expect. So when I go and buy something and that thing requires VAT to be paid, then unless there's an exception, I am going to charge VAT from next year at 15% rather than charging VAT at 12.5%. There are exceptions. What are these exceptions? I could go and buy things and pay VAT, as CEO said, at the flat rate of 3%. So whilst one is standard, one is flat rate. For you to operate the flat rate VAT, the law requires that your taxable supplies should be between 200,000 and 500,000 Ghana cedis. My only challenge with the recent amendment, which was done somewhere this year, or came into effect this year, was that our parliamentarians gave the Commissioner General some discretion as to determine whether when you fall within that band, you should still go ahead and charge a flat rate or you shouldn't charge a flat rate. Sometimes we do say that do not allow crisis to just pass without you doing certain things with that crisis. Our recommendation regarding this VAT, as we currently speak, is not for government to withdraw based on the fact that people are making a call that the 2.5 is high, but rather we are saying that government review the VAT scheme. Let me explain, George. Based on the Ghana Revenue Authority's view, and I wish to emphasize the Ghana Revenue Authority's view on how VAT and the associated levy should be computed, is that when I go and buy something, there are 3 associated levies to the standard rate VAT. And these are what you call the NHIL, which I choose to call the health levy. What you call the education levy, people call it Get Fund. And then the fact that we're in a COVID era and we're there to recover. So the COVID-19 health recovery levy. So you have 2.5, 2.5, and 1. That gives you a total of 6. According to the GRA, if I am transacting and I need to charge these levies with VAT, I need to add the 6 to the base before adding the VAT. So let me give you an example. Assuming my phone goes for 100 cedis base, I add 6 to it, I get 106. I then apply the VAT to it, and then I get 119.25. George, that effectively means that on a product which would ordinarily sell for 100, because I am bringing in the VAT, I am now paying 19.25 effective tax.
So really, what does VAT to do is the cost of goods and services are going to shoot up.
Very good.
Is it by that 2.5 margin, or it will depend?
It will depend.
Okay.
Now to the tourism sector's Chief Executive Officer for West Africa Tourism Organization, Wato Ola Wright, says that the disjointed nature of the tourism landscape in the sub-region is robbing the industry of numerous benefits. She bemoans the situation is even more worrying for ecotourism, necessitating the need for West Africa Ecotourism Network, which will focus on the niche sector. She was speaking to Joy Business at the opening of a 2-day meeting of stakeholders across West Africa at Senchi in the eastern region.
The idea to start this network was birthed when West Africa Tourism Organization struggled to get information on the industry as well as ecotourism across the sub-region. For stakeholders in the ecotourism sector, it hinges on 3 main areas, namely conservation, community and education. The niche sector is said to have numerous opportunities, including job creation. Chief Executive Officer of West Africa Tourism Organization, Ola Wright, says the sector is disjointed, but the network will share best practices, challenges and solutions.
So we need to do a mapping of the whole, sub-region. We need to do a mapping of operators. Who are the top operators selling ecotourism and the likes of it. So we need to do all that mapping. I mentioned earlier, we actually have a hub, a website which stands as a hub. So that is going to have every information about ecotourism and practitioners and sites and attractions and projects, even new projects and already established projects. The website also will be used as a marketing tool. And obviously we're going to do a lot of marketing, etc., to make sure that we drive, this course and to make sure that, ecotourism practitioners are actually, getting return on investment.
Representing World Bank, Senior Private Sector Specialist Louise Twanin-Watt indicates there's a need for financial investment in the sector, which has the potential to make West Africa a destination comparable to Costa Rica Rwanda, and other areas.
So the World Bank is about alleviating poverty and boosting shared prosperity. Those are our twin goals. Ecotourism is an important part of that because of its role in creating employment opportunities that raise people's quality of life. If we can do that while preserving the environment and promoting improved education, water resources, energy resources, then, as we say, the rising tide can float all boats, and ecotourism can be a vehicle for sustainable development overall.
Paramount Chief of Akwemu Traditional Area, Odenhokwa Fakutu III, pledged support for the network's vision.
It is a thing of joy for me, and by extension, the whole Akwemu Kingdom, to be part of this official launch today, and the subsequent work of West Africa Ecotourism Network in the coming days, months, and years. I will not want to miss all that will be accomplished by the network in any way. In fact, I promise to provide any form of assistance necessary and within my powers as Odenhokwa Fakutu III, the Paramount Chief of Akwemu, to help West Africa Ecotourism Network accomplish its vision.
National Coordinator for Eco Benin, Gutia Amusu, shares some issues in his country.
We made 10 years ago a SWOT analysis for ecotourism development in Benin, and we find that most of the challenges are not about a standard how to certify our ecotourism services, how to set up new ecotourism services and build capacities of the stakeholders, the ecotourism operators, but also how to coach people to make their business, their ecotourism business, sustainable. So these are the main challenges we want to work on.
Meanwhile, Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture sees the sector as an important contributor to Ghana's economy.
Now, over 24 young Ghanaian entrepreneurs have been equipped with business development skills through the Startup Weekend Bootcamp by Recycle Up Ghana. Participants were enlightened on problem identification and the essentials of problem solving. The aspiring entrepreneurs, including students, were supported to develop business ideas rooted in sustainable mitigation of societal problems.
The Startup Weekend initiative strives to help young Ghanaian entrepreneurs undergo training to develop eco-friendly solutions to societal challenges. The program encourages beneficiaries to tackle matters such as climate adaptation, waste management, plastic waste, and youth unemployment. The aspiring youth of young entrepreneurs were mentored by experienced industry players in the business sector. Executive Director for Recycle Up Ghana, Abdul Rahim Shaibu Issa, indicated the 6-month incubation program for participants would prompt a deeper feasibility analysis of the business ideas of the participants.
So what we are doing is to have young people come up with ideas that can tackle the environmental problems, but then also our businesses to create employment and tackle the unemployment situation. The participants are selected to go through a 6-month incubation program after the Startup Weekend where they develop their ideas. In the 6-month incubation program, they do a long phase of business development, actually getting to really dig deeper and develop the business idea that they created. We also provide them with some support to actually prototype their ideas and then test it on the market. If it's feasible and if it's viable, then we also support them secure investment to actually run those businesses.
Hub Manager for Recycle Up Ghana, Ivy Sewa Bedu, says the prior training for the boot camp is a build-up to a business pitch competition.
Startups were taken through the ideation process, that is to identify the root cause of their problems that they want to solve in the society. They were helped to build up their own business ideas, and then they ended up with a pitch competition.
The business idea pitching session saw the 24 aspiring entrepreneurs present their developed business ideas. Student beneficiary Lawson Adobokomla aspires to develop biofuel from rice husks for electricity generation companies and local businesses. He says the startup weekend and business pitch competition will be crucial in achieving his goals.
So me being successfully executing my aspiration has a lot to tell, where I get to be sponsored to engage in further research, especially in developing new ideas such as the production of silica. Winning also helps in getting an easy bridge to grants, loans, sponsorship, investments, where there is also going to be an equity at hand.
Founder of Everything Rice, Kukua Kellen Yabua, says winning the business idea pitch will enable her to acquire the machinery necessary for her business development.
I've done product testing on the market. People are willing to buy, but then I lack the machineries. I am here to ask for funds so that I'll be able to get the machines required for the product.
The winner, first and second runner-ups of the pitching session were recruited into the 6-month business incubator program to be organized by the organization. Clinton Yabwes report read to you.
And that's all for Business Live. Thank you so much for your time here. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Beverly Broohm. Enjoy the rest of our programs.